The Fuji X-H2S 2 months later, coming right up. I've had the Fuji X-H2S for 2 months now, and I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to do a video to see what my thoughts are after using this camera. Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Osama Madlam. I'm a pharmacist working here in England. I've got over 24 years worth of experience, but I also have a big passion for photography and videography. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Very pleased to have you on board. So I'd say I've taken about 2,000 photos so far with this camera, and I've took probably maybe 100 videos. So I think I've got a fairly good idea of the initial sort of capabilities and sort of features of this camera. I'm going to divide the video into separate sections where we're going to discuss the different aspects of the camera, and I'm going to list those sections on the side. So in my initial unboxing video, I commented on how light the camera body was, but obviously I've never really used an APS-C camera before. When you put the lens and the battery on, it's a different story. It actually becomes a substantial piece of kit. Now I'm only 5'6", I'm quite slim build. I wouldn't say I was stocky and muscular. So at first it took some getting used to with this, and obviously with the lens hood and whatnot. And it was a bit difficult at first because before I've been using a Sony ZV-1 Mark I that I'm filming this very video on, and things like iPhone. So going from those type of video machines to this, it's obviously a night and day difference. But I recently did a photo shoot in town. There was a steampunk festival, and I was shooting for about 2 hours, and to be honest with you, the more I use this and the more I get used to it, it's actually not too bad. I can sort of probably shoot for quite a few hours on this. Moving on to build quality, I think the build quality is solid enough. Some people say it's built like a tank. I don't know whether I'd agree with that. I mean, it's solid enough. I think in some ways my Sony ZV-1 in some aspects maybe is a little bit sturdier, but I've got no sort of doubts about this. I think it's going to be a fantastic sort of camera build wise anyway. I don't think it's going to like fall apart anytime soon. I think it's solid enough for what I need to do anyway. Moving on to battery, I think battery life again is decent enough. It uses the NPW235, I think they're called, and I can get a good few hours of shooting out of this. I do have the camera set to boost mode or performance mode, whatever it's called, to enhance sort of the autofocus features and just get the most out of this camera. It does probably drain the battery a little bit more than if I were just to leave it on the normal mode, but you know, it's absolutely fine. I could probably get like 2 or 3 hours of still photography out of this, and probably easily an hour of video out of this as well, and the batteries charge quick enough anyway, so, and they're quite cheap to buy. Menu system, I was a little bit worried transitioning from the Sony menu system to the Fuji menu system. Some people were saying it was finicky, this, that and the other. To be honest with you, I've had no problems whatsoever. I find the menu system absolutely fine, intuitive. I didn't have any problems with the Sony one either, to be honest with you. But the more I sort of use the Fuji thing, I actually probably prefer the Fuji one a little bit more. Obviously, because it's an APS-C camera, there's a lot more features to it than the Sony camera. The Sony cameras, I think you can just pick them up and run with them. This one needs a little bit more thought and consideration, which is not a bad thing really. Image quality, well, what can I say? The image quality out of this is absolutely mind-blowing. I remember when I first got the camera, I couldn't put it down for 2 days because I was just blown away by the image quality out of it. Part of that is to do with the actual camera itself, and I think also part of it is to do with the Fuji prime lens that I've got, which isn't cheap. It's the 33mm f1.4. It's a phenomenal lens. Like I say, the picture quality coming out of it, as you can see on the screen, and some of the images that I've shared on this video are just absolutely mind-blowing. I love the film simulations. I'm using Provia Standard a lot. experimenting with other things like classic chrome, stuff like that. The Acros black and white, again, phenomenal photos coming out of that, and I do use sort of the black and white film simulation, especially if I'm filming sort of in midday sun where the light can be quite harsh. Video wise, I've been experimenting with classic chrome, and a lot of the time I've been using a Turner film simulation. I'm just trying to get my head around those sort of things, and then once I've really sort of mastered the camera, then I'll use F-Log2. Hopefully that's got I think it's got 14 stops of dynamic range, something like that, on F-Log2, so can't wait to use stuff like that. Other people say you don't really need F-Log2 on this camera, you can get away with classic chrome, so excuse me. So yeah, I just can't wait to get stuck in and experiment more with the video capabilities of this camera. Again, sort of video quality, I've not took as much video as I have photos, but from what video I have taken, it seems really good so far. Quite cinematic in quality. I need to obviously experiment more with the video aspect of this camera. I don't want to just shoot sort of photos. I actually want to use it as a video camera as well. So going forward, all of my sort of YouTube talking head videos are going to be filmed on the Fuji X-H2S. I'm currently filming this on the Sony ZV-1 Mark I, and I feel a little bit sad because it's probably going to be the last time that I'll be using the Sony ZV-1 as a talking head main A cam. I'll probably use it as a B cam. So it'll be interesting to see quite what the quality is that I'm going to be able to get out of the Fuji for my talking head videos such as this. Autofocus, right, so I think the autofocus on this for me is probably good enough. It's not as good as the Sony, definitely no two ways about that. Probably my Sony ZV-1 probably has better autofocus than this, but I think this is more than good enough. I don't think it's going to let me down at all. I have had few instances where I have messed up the focus on it, but I think that's due to user error and stuff like that, rather than sort of any fault of the camera. But yeah, I think autofocus, from my limited time with the camera for the 8 weeks that I've had it, I don't think there's been any sort of major issues, but obviously the more I use it, the more I'll be able to comment more on that. Conclusion wise, I'm very happy with this purchase. It was, for me personally speaking, a significant amount of money to invest into this camera system, but I think it's worth it because it's taken my sort of production value to the next level. I think maybe my only regret is that I wish I'd bought an APS-C camera sooner rather than just relying on my iPhone or like the Sony ZV-1. The Sony ZV-1's been a fantastic camera, but I think I've definitely outgrown it and I needed something a bit better than that. I'm still going to keep the Sony ZV-1 because I think for a little point and shoot camera, I still think it's fantastic. So yeah, and you know, do I regret not buying the Sony a6700 because that was the one I was initially going to go for? Not really, because I wanted a different look to the Sony look. And I know the autofocus probably isn't as good on this, but what I get in return is phenomenal Fuji color science and phenomenal Fuji picture quality, and for me that's far more important than an autofocus system that maybe isn't quite as good as Sony, but is still quite good nevertheless. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. That's my sort of quick review of the amazing Fuji X-H2S. Obviously I'm going to use this camera more and see what we can get out of it, and I'm looking forward to delving more into the video side of things as well as the photography side of things. And I'm just glad I'm being actually able to finish this video, because this is actually my 4th attempt at filming this video today, believe it or not. We had such a lovely nice day outside in this part of the world where I live. Went outside initially to film the video. I wasn't happy with the results. I came back in, gonna film indoors, then I decided I wanted to go back outside again. Filmed outside, again wasn't happy with the results. There was a speck of dust on the lens that just ruined everything. So I thought, let me come back into a controlled environment and try again. So yeah, 4th time lucky. So yeah, like I say, hope you found some value in this video, and I can't wait to see you again at the next video. Thanks very much guys, I'll catch you later. Bye for now.